Hi friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. So today's pick a card reading is asking how do they think that you feel. So we'll look into how they think you're feeling, how they think you see them, as well as how all of that makes them feel. We'll get some channeled messages. I've already recorded all of the readings, and so these here are some of the messages that each pile got, and we'll also get advice. So I have 3 piles for you to choose from today. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the energy that's the pile that sits right with your energy, as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hello to my beautiful pile 1. So today's pick a card reading is asking how is it that they think you feel. So these cards here are representative of how they think you're feeling. These cards here are representative of how they think you see them. And we'll also go ahead and get tarot to figure out what it is that they're feeling based on what they're assuming right now. We'll pull channeled messages, and of course we'll get some advice cards for you. Okay, so pile 1. To start, we have number 50, under a spell, change, and we have the riddle. Okay. Pile 1, it seems as though the person you're inquiring about is under the impression that currently you are feeling as though you understand there's something very special about this connection, or there's something very special about this person, but you're not quite awake to it entirely yet. It feels like they think you're kind of waking up to what this connection could be, or how deep your feelings could actually go. They're looking at you and they're kind of seeing somebody who is still questioning themselves, or the seriousness of this connection, or the seriousness of their feelings. However, they're also seeing you as somebody who's very aware that there's a reason why you're questioning this. And from what I'm seeing, it seems like it's because this feels like it's something that is meant to propel you towards some really profound changes in your life. With under a spell here on top of the riddle, there could be a little bit of trust issues here, not necessarily from them, but from just your own past with other connections, or your own relationship with yourself and how you trust yourself. And because of this, they're seeing you as perhaps not necessarily trusting your own feelings entirely, and really wanting to get to the bottom of it before you dive right in. But that's what I'm seeing for how they think you're feeling currently about them. When it comes to how they think you are currently seeing them, we have the crow, and we also have the gazelle. So for some of you, this might be a person who is currently in a more stable part of their life, a point in their life that's a little bit more stable, like perhaps they're a pillar, somebody that you can depend on, or that you can really trust for good advice, somebody who can see much clearer than you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about this connection, although it does. I am kind of getting the feeling that this person thinks that they have already awoken to what they believe is the truth of this connection. But it seems like they're under the impression that you think they have a really good head on their shoulders, somebody who is calculated in their decisions or in the actions that they take, somebody who is very intentional with the actions that they take to show you the seriousness of how they feel for you, how they care for you, and also somebody who's simply genuine in their approach. I'm not sure if they necessarily see that you see them this way, or perhaps they're hoping that you see them this way, but there is a hope here that you're trusting that the kindness that they're showing you, the love that they're showing you, is not transactional. Like, this person this person is really hoping that you understand that the security that they give you or the effort that they're putting in has nothing to do with expectations in return and everything to do with simply them caring for you deeply. But that's what I'm seeing for how they think you're feeling about this connection, as well as how they think you're seeing them. Let's go ahead and get into how this makes them feel. Okay. Okay, how does this make them feel? How does this make pile one's person feel? Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant. The first thing that comes to mind when I see these two cards together is patience. There's a feeling here of them not feeling as though they need to rush this. There's a feeling of them accepting the fact that you are in this riddle energy. They seem to be okay. Based on these two cards alone, they seem to be feeling okay with how you're feeling. And not just okay with it, but understanding that there are certain things in life that can't be rushed, and there are certain aspects of life that can't be figured out by another person simply giving you the answer. How does this make them feel? How does this make pile one's person feel? Okay, we have the Knight of Wands. How does this make them feel? We have the Three of Swords. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this really quickly. How does this make them feel? Okay, so we have the Lovers, the Ten of Wands, the Two of Pentacles. Why is the Three of Swords here? Okay, and we have the Knight of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have the King of Cups. Okay, so there's a level of understanding here and a level of patience, but being able to understand this is really coming from a mental space, a logical space. And sometimes the heart and the mind aren't in sync. And so what this is telling me is that they know what the right thing to do is, and the right thing to do is to allow you the time and space you need to come to your own conclusions. And they're okay with that because they think that by giving you the time and the space you need, an authentic connection and an authentic interactions can happen between the two of you, where you both are honest with one another with how you're feeling and where things are headed. However, when it comes to how they feel within their heart space, there's a strong desire here. There's a strong desire here to move things along, and they feel very conflicted. The Knight of Wands and the Two of Pentacles is giving me this energy of somebody who is really having to work hard at keeping their own passions and desires in balance in order to do what is right for you, as well as for the sake of the connection and the connection growing. The Three of Swords and the Knight of Cups is giving me the indication that they're fearful that these efforts, it's like they know deep down inside that they could be the most perfect partner in the world or the most perfect friend in the world to you or to anybody, be exactly who somebody needs, and it won't matter if the other person is not yet ready or not willing to receive it. And they're recognizing that that is very much a possibility. And that scares them, because they know that deep down inside, they care for you so deeply, it would hurt them greatly if the efforts that they were putting in were rejected. But all of this is coming from a place of, like, from their heart space. This isn't from their ego. It's not them wanting to manipulate the situation for this to move along or for them to get the outcome that they want. They're just sitting with these feelings and allowing themselves to feel this, all while acknowledging that that's just a part of life. And they're willing to put themselves out there because they think that you're worth it. But that's what I'm seeing for how they feel about how you're feeling, how they think you're feeling. Let's get some channeled messages. I feel the same way. What do they want to say? I can't get you out of my head. Okay, I don't have a desire to change. I don't think you feel the same way. I think, so there's nothing here. If this is like a connection where you have felt very manipulated or anything like that, I would say that this is probably not your pile, because this feels like a very genuine energy. And I think with I don't have a desire to change here, what this is telling me is that this is somebody who feels very confident in the level of respect and care that they're attempting to show you that they have for you, and they don't want to change tactics or play games. And I don't think you feel the same way. I think there's a worry here deep down inside that perhaps they're the only ones that actually feel this deeply. There's conflict. It's like, I think a little bit of insecurity is coming through here. Let's go ahead and get you some advice, pile one. Okay. What advice is there for pile one? What does pile one need to hear? Okay. We have perseverance. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. That's beautiful. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before, and that's so true. But that's what I'm seeing for you, pile one. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, pile one. And I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video again soon. Bye. Hello to my beautiful pile twos. So today's pick a card reading is asking how they think that you feel about them. So these cards here are going to represent how they think you're currently feeling about them. This card here represents how you are currently seeing them. We'll pull tarot to see how they feel about what assumptions they've just made. We'll also get some channeled messages and some advice for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the person that you're inquiring about is currently under the impression that you are feeling abundance. Number 17, make believe, and the seed. And they're currently under the impression that you're seeing them as the butterfly. Okay, so this is very interesting. I'm getting the feeling that your person feels as though you are finally kind of waking up to the fact that perhaps you were focusing more so on this person's potential or what potential you saw in the connection rather than how this person was actually going to show up. And it might be because this person was lying to you or leading you on in some way, really moving the connection in a way or pretending to be something that eventually they weren't. But it seems like currently they really feel as though you've woken up to this idea that perhaps the potential that you're seeing in them is all that there really is just potential. And that perhaps you are currently searching for opportunity elsewhere. The words here for abundance are, I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. I think that they're feeling as though you are done lying to yourself or refusing to look at certain aspects of this connection or this person that really were showing you that they weren't a good partner or friend or whatever type of connection this is. And in return, you're focusing on things that you do see potential in, that's honest potential, that's truly coming true. Yeah, and I also feel like with the seed here that they're feeling like you feel like the changes that would need to happen in order for this connection to get going, or in order for even there to be a rekindling of some kind, if this is a no contact situation, you would have to put in a lot of work, and they're under the impression that you don't necessarily want to put in a lot of work. Like you're finally at a point where you're realizing that there are certain aspects of connections when it's truly right that will come easily. And of course, work and effort is just a given in any type of connection. However, there's a need for balance. When it comes to how they think you're currently viewing them, I see the butterfly as two different things. Like either this person is really, really working hard, like suddenly they're realizing that this connection is fizzling out, or the attention you're giving them is kind of fading, and suddenly they're in like panic mode, and so they're under the impression right now that you're seeing how much they're working towards changing themselves. Or they're recognizing that you're seeing simply, like they're recognizing that you are truly done with the potential, and like you're seeing them for what they are, which is somebody who has a lot of potential but has no intention of actually coming through. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for this. It's a very unique perspective. These cards they kind of threw me for a loop at first, but it feels right. Especially with make-believe here. But let's go ahead and look into how this makes them feel. So how does them thinking you feel this way about them make them feel? Okay. The World. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So they feel like they've lost a sense of power. They feel like they've lost a sense of control over this. Like perhaps they were very manipulative, or perhaps they were under the impression that they were always going to have some sort of like magical hold over you, or some sort of like emotional tie to you where they could pull at your heartstrings, and that would be it. And now they're realizing, or they're feeling as though the cycles that they've been putting you through are coming to a close, and they don't really know how this is going to pan out now. Like this, it feels like for the longest time, they knew how things would pan out. They knew what to do in order to get what they wanted, and now they're unsure of what's going to happen. They feel blindsided. Okay, we have the Sun. It's interesting too, because all of these are major arcana cards. And we have the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords and the World here are significant of endings. So this is telling me that they're recognizing that things are changing. And it looks like you're the one that's taking charge. Yeah, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. How does this make them feel? Okay, I just saw the Three of Swords. Okay, we have the Devil. the Chariot, the King of Swords, and then on the back of the deck we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so they're feeling as though they no longer have power over this connection. They're looking at you as this Nine of Pentacles, as this person who is standing in their abundance, and they're realizing that you have more power than perhaps you were aware of in the past. And because you're kind of leveling up, things are coming to a close. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil here, what this is telling me is that not only do they feel as though they've lost control of this situation, but they also still feel very bound to it. They don't like how they're feeling, and but at the same time, they don't feel like there's anything that they can do. They can only kind of like hope for the best, hope luck comes to their side, and perhaps if they are actually working on themselves, you're able to see that and able to work with them. However, I think that really what they're feeling is that the ball is entirely in your court. With the Sun and the Chariot, and also because I saw the Three of Swords pop through when I was shuffling, I feel as though they have a very desperate desire right now to ease their discomfort. Yeah, the Sun and the Chariot is indicative of a desire to rush forward and remove any pain, past pains that have been caused. So this is telling me that they really feel uncomfortable, and they have a desire to find a way in order to not feel so crappy. They also feel somewhat abandoned or like discarded, I would say, with the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords. They feel as though it happened very suddenly, and suddenly they've just been kind of let go of. With the Knight of Cups here, there is a desire to fix this, but they don't. I mean, there's a desire to fix this, but with the Devil here, it also feels like part of it is because there's just such a strong attachment. But yeah, there's an element of regret here for sure. Let's go ahead and get some channeled messages. What channeled messages? Okay, I miss you so much. What do they want to say? We have, I can't show up for you the way that you need. Okay. We're not on the same page. These other ones didn't flip over, so I'm not going to take them. We're just going to keep going. One more, please. What do you want to say? I'm focused on other priorities. Yeah, this person, it seems like they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like they miss you so much, and I do see here that like there is an element of like pain or discomfort, but at the same time, they're unwilling to do anything to actually change it. They're unwilling to do things to make it so that they wouldn't have to miss you. Okay, let's go ahead and get some advice for you. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Patience. Congratulations, you've been granted more patience. You may start using it right away or much, much later. Waiting a long time is the sort of option now afforded to you by greater patience. Can you believe it? Look at this. You're still reading and you haven't started getting annoyed yet. Imagine how this patience will transform your life. Imagine how easy it will be to go to the post office. This is interesting. I think that these cards, these affirmators can be interpreted in so many different ways, but some of the things that come to mind just right now when I'm reading patience for this particular reading is an element of patience being required of you for yourself, for your past mistakes perhaps, or even an element of patience in acknowledging that even if this person cannot show up for you, it might be best to be patient and see what it is that you can manifest outside of this connection. However, there's so many different ways to interpret it, and you know your situation best. So of course, always, always, always listen to yourself first and foremost. Those are just the things that came to my mind when I read that. But pile 2, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so, so much for watching pile 2, and I hope that I'll see you in another video soon. Bye! Hello to my beautiful pile 3s. So today's pick a card reading is asking, how do they think that you currently feel about them? So these cards here are going to represent how they think you're feeling. This card here is going to represent how they think you currently see them. We'll also get tarot to see how they feel about this. We'll pull some channeled messages, and of course we'll get an advice card for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with these. So we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Number 51, your light. And the king. Okay. And they currently are under the impression that you are seeing them as nightingale. Okay. So, from what I'm seeing here, I would say that your person is under the impression that you are currently feeling very empowered, very proud of yourself, and as though you are really taking charge of your life and doing things that are right for you. If I had to base with the nightingale here, I would say that perhaps there's been a separation of some kind, and they're thinking that you are viewing them as somebody who either said the truth, like they really said something that was like maybe heart-wrenching or really out of turn and like didn't actually have any truth to it, but was their truth, I guess. Or you're viewing them as somebody who still has something to say. But whatever the case may be, they're under the impression that currently the way you're feeling about them is you're not really feeling anything about them. You're kind of in your own lane, focusing on yourself, focusing on your own growth, feeling proud of yourself, seeking comfort within yourself rather than searching for validation elsewhere, searching for validation from this person. They think that you're feeling very strong, and I would say, I mean, we'll get into how they're currently feeling about this, but I would say that the impression that you left the last time you two spoke was one in which you were leveled up, empowered, and truly killing it and not taking shit from anybody. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this nightingale, in all honesty, is as somebody who wanted to be on the same like level as you, so was like trying to say things in return, and they felt like it was right at the time, but really it was just them trying to bring you down, because they didn't like what they were hearing, even though there was truth to it. Like, there's nothing here. Let's get into it. Let's see how they're feeling about this. How does this make them feel? Okay, we have the Ace of Swords. The first thing that I heard when the Ace of Swords came out was, "You're not wrong." I feel like this person knows that how you're acting, how you're feeling, how whatever you've said to this person, they know that there's truth behind it. How are they feeling? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Cups. Let's just keep going. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Six of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so pile 3. This person's ego is bruised. And with the Ace of Swords here and then the Six of Cups clarifying it, what this is telling me is that whatever transpired the last time you two spoke or the last time you two saw one another, words were spoken that were perhaps very harsh, and there was truth in them. I feel as though there was more truth in whatever you said. However, that doesn't have to be the case. There's a lot here indicating communication with the Nightingale. That's like one of the main things that it represents. And with the Ace of Swords here, this is further confirmation that communication was something that is heavy on this person's mind. And with the Six of Cups here, this is telling me that they're sorry. They feel sorry. They feel as though they were wrong, and they're missing you. They're wanting communication. So I do think that for a lot of you, they're under the impression that perhaps they have more to say. With the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, I feel as though they're viewing you as this Queen of Cups, and they feel as though they're beneath you currently, and that they would have to come toward you with an offer rather than them waiting on you. I don't think that they don't feel as though you're actually going to come through with any sort of communication anytime soon. And I see it here with the Two of Swords as well. There's an element of stagnancy. They feel like there's stagnancy and they're not really sure how to go about they're not sure how to go about making the stagnancy end, about communicating with you, because it really does seem in their eyes as though you're doing just fine. And with the Three of Cups here, you're probably really enjoying life. With the Four of Pentacles and then the Six of Pentacles, it feels like there was like a really bruised ego here. There's a bruised ego and they don't want to, it's like they're doing like this tit for tat kind of thing. Like deep down inside, they know that they're not right, they're wrong, but at the same time, their ego is really leading the way right now and like kind of trying to protect themselves by saying, well, like if this person said this, then why should I come through with an apology, even though deep down inside they know that perhaps they were wrong. They're curious. There's a lot of thoughts here surrounding what has gone on between the two of you. There's an element of like wanting to explore these feelings, but also an element of like being okay with where things are at right now, because they're under the impression that like, I get the feeling with the Page of Wands here, like they're under the impression that this isn't over. But for right now, there's just like space between the two of you. I don't know. This person seems to be very much in their ego space, egotistical. What do they want to say? Okay. Can we please start over? Okay. I'm not the one for you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like when I say I feel like this tit for tat, it's like deep down inside, they feel like they were in the wrong and like they feel really bad, but then their ego gets in the way and they're like, oh, like that really hurt my feelings. What happened really hurt my feelings. And I'm not going to stroke their ego because they didn't stroke mine. It's kind of like that. That's the energy I'm getting. I just want to be friends. And I'm not that interested. This person, like, honestly, so when I'm reading these, I feel like it's like they felt rejected and so now they want to be the one to reject. But deep down inside, like, it's just so egotistical. It's so low vibrational. Let's go ahead and get you some advice. What advice is there for pile 3? Ups and downs. I see life as an incredible ride and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what make things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. So what I'm getting from that is like if there's discomfort in this, if this is something that like needed to be severed and now you're kind of like on a downer, your guides are encouraging you to ride the wave, to because nothing is permanent, and this discomfort that you're feeling, if you're feeling discomfort, won't last for forever. And there's better times ahead. But of course, you know your situation best, and you should always interpret these in the way that makes the most sense to you. But that's what I'm seeing for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. And I hope that I'll have another opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye.